Hey everybody, it's Dan with Do It Dan Outdoors. This is going to be part 2 of our saddle versus stand honest comparison video. After releasing that video earlier this week, we received a lot of questions and comments on how we would hunt out of a severely leaning tree with either a lock-on or a saddle. So I have my XOP lock-on a tree here, and the tree's leaning that much that even with the adjustable platform, I'm still not able to get it completely level with the ground. It's slightly pitched upwards. So I'm going to climb up there, I'm going to show you how I would hunt out of it. I'll show you some of the limitations, give you my observations, and then I'll transfer over to my saddle, and I'll run through how I would hunt out of a tree like this with my saddle as well. All right, so we're up here in the tree, and initial observation is super comfortable when using a lock-on on a leaning tree when you have the lock on the top side. I'll call this the top side of the tree, and that being the bottom or underside of the lean. So this is comfortable. I mean, it's like sitting in a lazy boy recliner, great back support. You know, it's just that natural position of leaning back here like this. My one concern would be I would fall asleep, but very comfortable sitting down. I can easily shoot anything on my left side, my strong side, being right-handed. My offside sitting down would be difficult. I could probably only get a little bit past 1, 2 o'clock to where I can't rotate in the seat. No, I could get to 3 o'clock. So I could shoot to 3 o'clock on my offside. Now, rotating back on the bottom side of the tree or behind me when I'm sitting the way that I'm set up in this tree right now, that's where some of the issues come with the lock-on. So standing up, and again, like I mentioned on the ground, this tree's leaning that much that it's difficult to, well, it's impossible to get my platform level with the ground, even with the adjustable platform that the XOP has. So it is slightly tilted up, which is pushing me with gravity into the lean of the tree. So, but standing here, you know, I can easily shoot anything now on my offside. Coming back to the underside of the tree, you know, you're definitely going to have some adjustment needs with your, I'll call it the tether, what's keeping your safety harness connected to the tree. So I have a rope band on mine, so it's very easy to adjust, but I can now shoot my offside behind me. By just moving the tether onto the other side, I can shoot to my strong side. Now, not super comfortable standing here because, like I mentioned, the platform is up, so it's making me want to fall this way. But I could sit like this if the majority of the deer movement would be coming this way. This is super comfortable. You know, I probably would hang my bow flush with the tree and almost treat it like a saddle, but just standing on the platform. And I've seen, I believe it was in Dan Infalt's most recent video, he even stated that hunting out of a tree like this, he'll straddle the seat. Now, I've never tried this, but you know, this is comfortable too. And I can change the pitch on my seat to make it even more comfortable. And now I can shoot everything on my strong side, sitting down. I would not be able, well, it's now my strong side because I'm facing the other direction. So I'll just call it my left side, being right-handed. I can shoot anything over here. My right side now becomes my offside, and I would not be able to shoot anything over here sitting down. I would have to stand up. But you know, you're not going to have, every shot angle isn't going to be perfect, so you got to give and take. And that's where some preseason scouting, if I was going to be hunting a tree like this, that's where preseason scouting would be very beneficial. Could you go in dark or go in blind in the dark and figure it out? Absolutely, 100%. But I just wanted to show some of my observations by hunting out of a lock-on with a severely leaning tree. So I'm now going to transfer over into my saddle. All right, so I'm back up in the same tree. The platform is in the same spot that the stand was, but now I'm in my saddle. So initially, one of my concerns with using a saddle on a leaning tree is you're gonna be fighting gravity the entire time. Unless you're turned around facing the other direction with your back leaning against the tree, you know, for me, when I'm in the saddle, my biggest concern is if I lean too far to the left or to the right, I'm gonna swing like a tether ball and end up on the underside of the tree. So right out of the gate, that's the first thing that's in my mind while hunting out of a leaning tree with the saddle. With the lock on, it kind of feels a little uncomfortable being so far away from the tree, but you're naturally like just, I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't have that fear of swinging left to right with the lock on that I do have with the saddle. Might not be a concern for you. I'm just going over my observations while I'm up here in my saddle. For shooting, like typical saddle hunting, my strong side, super easy to get shots off. You know, I can go all the way from directly behind me, all the way out. With just a platform, with no ring of steps or screw-in steps, I would not lean left or right far to get that shot directly in front of me. If I had a ring of steps, that would give me a little bit more confidence to lean out there, and I would be able to give myself resistance from swinging around. So if I'm just running my platform with a saddle, I have a blind spot now that I don't have when I'm using a saddle in a straight tree. So that's just another observation. My offside, or my right side, being a left-hand shooter or being a right-hand shooter, again, very similar to a straight tree. I would just come up over the bridge and take my shot over there. So initially it's a little bit, for me, I'm a little more uncomfortable with a leaning tree, just that fear of becoming a tetherball. I have a little bit of limited shot angle with the saddle, not being able to rotate around the tree. Again, wild edge steps on each side, or a screw-in step, or a ring of steps with a ratchet strap, and that problem is resolved. I don't have them currently, so I'm just giving my observations with just a platform. Doing some pre-season scouting, if I was going to saddle hunt out of a severely leaning tree, I would make sure that I had a wild edge step, or 2 wild edge steps, or a ring of steps, or something similar to that, so that I would be able to have 360-degree shot angles. So hopefully that helps. Another observation that isn't on the video is getting in and out of the set with a leaning tree. I recommend running your sticks or your climbing method on the top side of the tree so that you're not fighting gravity and hanging on the leaning side. With the platform of the saddle, the one that I'm running, the Predator platform, super easy to get into because I just have it folded up until I get onto my top stick, and then as I step up, I fold it down. The lock on is more of an issue. Now, if you're hanging and hunting, it's not going to be as much of an issue. Now, if it's a lock on that you're going to leave, it becomes difficult to get on and off. Not so much getting off, it was getting onto it that I noticed that there were some issues with that. Not as much with the saddle platform. Again, if you're running wild edge steps or a ring of steps or screw-in steps, if the tree allows it where you're hunting, wouldn't be an issue at all. So just some things to take into consideration. Back on the same tree, but now on the underside, the side the tree is leaning towards. This tree is actually leaning too much to even be able to use a lock on the underside, or the lean side. And I'll show you if I can do this without falling off. I have the pitch angle on the adjustable XOP lock on as high as it will go, and I hope the video shows it's still leaning too far down to be able to be on this stand without letting go of the trunk of the tree. So there's no way to be able to hunt out of this lock on with this tree. And I'm just showing you the comparison here, that the lock on does have limitations. I'm going to go over now and put my saddle platform on and show you how you can still hunt out of this same tree with a saddle, and kind of explain the limitations that the saddle will have with a tree that is leaning this much. All right, so I'm back up in the same tree, same spot, but now I'm in my saddle. As you can see with the saddle, I am able to hunt out of this tree. I have shots back here. I have shots on my strong side. Shots here. My shots are unlimited. I can come over my bridge. Tree branch is in the way, but I can come over my bridge. I can shoot to my right side. I can take the drop shot. It's not going to be comfortable because there is no way for me to stand up and take the pressure off my saddle. When hunting a straight tree, you can stand up, you can turn, run the tether over your shoulder, go into that traditional standing position to take some of the pressure off your saddle if you need to. With a tree leaning like this and being on the underside, there is no way to stand up. I mean, I can do this and hang on to the tree, but I can't hunt like this. So that would be the downside to hunting a severely leaning tree with a saddle if you have to set up on the underside of the lean. So I hope that helps. I hope this video has helped. Again, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I just wanted to show my observations, compare the two options on a severely leaning tree, and show some of the limitations that each option has. So again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. I hope you learned something from this, and thanks for watching.